it's Thursday. I saw a couple posts and I want to give my 2 cents on the 2 posts that concern me the most. So I'm hoping that this will help. If this pertains to you, I'm hoping that this will help you out. One is defrauding a merchant, what to do when you have a client who refuses to pay. Before we cover that, going forward, what you need to do. Hi, Trisha, how are you? What you need to do is prevent that from happening. So with all one-time cleanings, you need to get a 50% deposit of the initial quoted price to secure their spot on the schedule. And if they don't want to give you the deposit, then don't do the job. Cut and dry. That's a red flag. If people don't want to give you a deposit at all for a first-time cleaning, they don't want to give you credit card, they don't want to Venmo it to you, they don't want to Cash App or whatever, Zelle, whatever it is that you're using, that is a red flag, and I wouldn't do business with them. I have a one-time cleaning contract. I've done over 11,000 of them successfully. So the contract makes it really clear on what expectations are going to be done. This poor girl, I don't recall her name off the top of my head, walked into a house and there was fecal matter all over the house, human and pets, and that should have been something, if she chose to do it, that was renegotiated when she walked in on the job. There was another individual, I think it was yesterday, the day before, she walked in on the job and it wasn't anything that it was 2 weeks prior. When you walk in on the job and the homeowners there say, I'm really sorry, this is not going to be the price that we discussed initially, and then give them the 10-second pause. That means that you have to take your head and count to 10 before you give a response back, because you're waiting for them to respond back. If they're not home conveniently, and I've seen this, I call this the bait and switch. The wife's not home, but the husband is, and he's there, but he's not there. Nothing personal against the guys in the group. It's just gender roles, right? And he's there, but he doesn't really know what's going on, or, sometimes we just get busy. So, and then she can't be reached. You need to get them on the phone and say, this isn't going to be the price that we discussed. It's going to be this new price. And you're going to give a range. Always give a range so you have wiggle room, because when you start to really clean, all the dirt starts to come up and you're like, oh my God. So that's really important that you are renegotiating that deal. I've only ever had one person in my decade of business throw the team out because they didn't want to renegotiate the deal, and it was a horrific job. So 1 being clean and 10 being horrific, it was actually a 13, and we should have ran screaming away, and they didn't want to pay for my money, so they threw us out. And I got the deposit, and because they canceled at the last minute, which was a 50% deposit of the $500 I had given them of the initial quarter price, I got to keep that because I had a signed contract. So that is how you do a one-time cleaning. All one-time cleanings need to have a signed contract so that expectations are clear. You need to get a 50% deposit. You put them in the digital calendar system or whatever you're doing to remind the client that you're coming. And then you bill the last part of the cleaning on the day of cleaning after they supply a proxy. That's how you nail 11,000 deep cleanings, right? Without an issue, is they have to have a proxy. And it can't be, their daughter who's 12. It has to be an adult, a real estate agent, whoever the proxy is needs to walk through. And if they can't do it for whatever reason, you're going to take your lead person and they're going to be the proxy, and we're just going to assume everything's great. So that's the process for one-time cleanings. As far as this poor individual who got shortchanged, I can tell you I sued 8 people last year and won every single time. And there is nothing more satisfying than having a persnickety housewife who had no intention of paying you, having to walk downstairs and cut you a check. I had that happen 8 times. And one of them, I didn't even have a signed contract. So there is a way to get your money back. It does take about 6 to 9 months, depending on where you live and the calendar cycle of the courthouse of where you're utilizing it. You have to make a demand. So they have X amount of hours to pay you. And if they refuse because they suddenly feel that they're justified in cheating you out of your money, you need to actually go to court, file a small claims court. Where I live in my town, it's $25. Then you have to, after you file it, you need 2 copies. one for the homeowner, one for the court, and one for yourself. So 3 copies total. And then you walk over to the sheriff if it's close by, or drive. And the best part about having the sheriff do it, it's going to be $1.50 in cash, most likely, is that the sheriff will go over there at 4 a.m. and knock on the door really loud and wake them up and deliver the paperwork. So there is a little bit of satisfaction to know that. And then they have to actually, after they're served papers, they get 30 days to respond with their plea. And then they try to go through mediation. I highly suggest that you never go through mediation. You can agree. It's to keep the courts from being clogged up. But when you get to court, you get to actually have discovery, and then the judge will decide who is lying and who is not. And I won every single time. So that's how you fix those types of things when you have someone who wants to defraud a merchant. That's what it's actually labeled as. And it's a small claims. And if it's under, I think $3,000 is the cap off price for small claims versus, regular civil matters. And then I also want to discuss, there seems to be some sort of confusion over 1099s and W-2s. I saw a post, someone who got a recommendation from her insurance person, which made me floored. You cannot insure 1099s. They have to come with their own insurance. If you want to cover yourself and you don't want to ruin the reputation that you're building, you make sure that your independent contractors carry their own insurance and they list you as an additional insured. That is the best advice I could ever give you. You do not take taxes out. You cut them a check. You keep track of that amount because you're going to have to 1099 them at the end of the year. But you cannot insure them. You cannot supply them with anything. You cannot actually train them. It's a huge gray area. And if you ever get audited because you had an angry person who actually was an employee who you treated like a 1099, what will happen is it'll take 18 months. You'll get a nice letter from the IRS or the state or whoever's auditing you. And I can tell you I've been audited like 15 times. And then they'll make you pay back all of those taxes. And then you'll get penalties on top of it. And they can actually hold your house if you own your home. So, and they can freeze your assets. I mean, it's a really ugly deal. So please, please, please be careful. I know that there's an employee shortage and people are trying to figure out what to do if you're going to have a maid referral service, 1099s. If you're going to have an actual cleaning business with employees, and there are benefits to both, you have more say over an employee than you do an actual 1099. And there's gray areas all over, and you have to make sure that you're legal and you're covered, because if the IRS comes after you, it's ugly. And once you get on the radar, it's like it never goes away. They always come in to feed every year. Okay, you're being audited again, It's just because of the volume that I did, and thank God I had a really good bookkeeper and accountant, because I would just hand them the file. Anyway, I just wanted to cover that. That was really 2 of the major concerns I had that I saw in the last couple of days. So if you are one of those individuals and you still need help getting yourself out of that sticky situation, by all means, you can private message me and I'll be more than happy to try to answer your questions. I do have the Cleaning Business Owner Beginner's Kit, which comes with my contract bundle. It comes with the pricing blueprint, and then you get 30 minutes with me. It's $1.98. If you just want the pricing blueprint masterclass, it's still on sale. And the reason why I'm keeping it on sale, a lot of you have requested it, is because I'm trying to help as many of you as possible to learn how to price a flat rate. Flat rate is the only way to make money in this industry. And it goes specifically over how I price and what I'm pricing at. And I know there's some of you out there who doubt, oh my God, I can never get that in my area. I'm telling you, I live in a small town and I get $55 an hour per person all day long. And I'm actually getting ready to raise it, because we've been talking about gas, to about 60 to 65. I haven't quite figured out which number is, yes, $198, Darla. So yes, it teaches you exactly how I price. It goes over regular maintenance cleanings, top to bottom, deluxe cleanings, which are deep cleanings, and move-out cleanings. And I've done over 5,000 move-out cleanings. So those are all important things that you guys should learn, especially when you're new. The more seasoned guys, you guys all know what you're doing. You're just here for the show. So I will let you go. I do have one spot available if you want to see if I'm your person and really build your business up to hit the 7-figure mark. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Shannon Miller, and I actually am a cleaning business owner here in the great state of Arizona, and have been so for over a decade. I'm also CEO of Clean Freaks University, which does not have a website, I'm getting another web guy, and he's going to take over that flame, and we're going to get that done hopefully by the end of April. It was really kind of an unfortunate situation all around. But if you're interested in seeing if I'm your person, by all means, we could set up a Zoom and talk about things and see where your business might be broken or where you want to take your business. Those are always fun conversations to have. Anyway, I look forward to talking to all of you. You take care. Bye.